Hello students and welcome once again to my Limitless English with Mr. Reyes. So far this video is made for my Module 11 students, especially at E-class so far. So the idea of this video is that you can have the information of the class or of part of the class that we're going to have this Wednesday. So like that you can start checking what you don't understand, checking the words that maybe you don't know, and check the exercises. So like that when we get together you'll be able to complete it faster with no problem. All right, last class we basically finished the B section, so we're going to start directly on the C section. On the C section, and this is book 5, Primetime 5, Module 2. Here we have a reading, and the first thing that you're going to do is that you're going to investigate the words that you don't understand from this reading. The swamp people of Louisiana, what did they mean by that? After that, then you go on and you complete this exercise. This has only one answer. Number one is A, B, C, or D. All right, we did this in the class already, and I think we checked with you guys, but I put it there so you can like start refreshing. Okay, the next section you got to get or match the words in bold with their meanings. What is laid back? Is it limiting? Is it relaxed? Is it admiration? Whatever it is that we got there, so you check and you put the words with their meaning. On the next section, listen to this reading and this audio. Just listen to it, and the idea is that you can complete some exercises about this text. Listen.
The swamp people of Louisiana. Deep down south in the state of Louisiana, USA, stretches the muddy Atchafalaya Swamp. For many, it is a difficult place to live. The air is thick with moisture, making you sweat constantly, and you are surrounded by snakes, frogs, turtles, and wild alligators, all 1.5 million of them. However, the swamp people have lived a laid-back life along the river here for more than 300 years. They are Cajuns, descendants of French refugees who moved from Canada in the 18th century. In their stilt houses above the marshes, they grow their own vegetables, such as okra and black-eyed peas. But amazingly, their diet also includes alligators, frogs, and turtles. It's a slow pace of life, except during the alligator hunting season. The 30-day alligator hunt takes place in September. Traveling the waterways in their boats, hunters try to spot alligators under the water. They then throw out lines with rotten meat hooked onto them to attract the reptiles. When they've caught a gator, the hunters pull it in by hand. They have to be very careful and predict alligator movements. They can easily do a death roll in the water when they spin wildly. Despite the danger, the Cajuns catch over 30,000 wild alligators during the season. One alligator hunter, Troy Landry, known as King of the Swamp, once caught 82 alligators in one day. However, he has enormous respect for the reptiles. In fact, the swamp people worked with authorities to protect alligators after they almost became extinct in the 1920s when their skins were fashionable. Now, too many alligators upset the balance of the ecosystem, so authorities let hunters catch some alligators each season. They give each hunter tags restricting the number of alligators they can hunt in order to sell their meat and skins. The community is facing some problems, however. Prices for skins are always changing, which means the hunters have to look for other work, such as catching shrimp and giving alligator tours.
All right, guys, on this section, the idea is that you could listen to what they got there and investigate the words, especially the ones that you don't know. You know, you got here surrounded, you got refugees, and so make sure that you check those words. And I will ask you on the next class for some of those words to make sure that you are completing your homework, you know. Listen to this and we'll continue to the next section.
The Combe are a tribe that live in tree houses in Papua New Guinea. Some of the houses are as high as 120 feet above the ground. These dwellings offer an escape from the heat and insects in the jungle below and protect the tribe against flooding during heavy rains. The Kambe are a distinct ethnic group and have their own language and customs. They decorate their bodies with bones, and many of them have thorns through their noses. The men are hunters and have excellent hunting and fishing skills. They hunt wild boar and marsupials in the forest using their bows and arrows.
Okay. Now let's move to D. On the D section is more like a speaking, So it says here, inviting a friend to an event. So the idea is that you can invite a friend to an event. And maybe we might have an exercise on the virtual class that you need to invite a friend. Maybe, but think about it, make sure that you're ready just in case. It says here, look at the poster. What kind of event is each? Which one would you like to go to? Out of these two events that we got here, read them, and which of those two events would you prefer to go? If you want to eat, hey, maybe you go to the first one. But if not, you go to the second one. Now just listen to this section so you can practice this pronunciation.
Are you doing anything this Saturday morning? I don't think so. Why? To what? What on earth is that? I know, it sounds crazy. So what's it all about? I went last year and I really enjoyed myself. So would you like to come with me? Oh, come on, it'll be fun. Okay then, why not? I'll speak to you then.
All right, the idea is that you can practice it and you can get that pronunciation. A little later, you're supposed to practice the conversation with a partner.
The dialogue is about inviting a friend to an event.
Fill the sentences in the dialogue, which means give me a moment to think. So in this dialogue, what means that? No kidding. You get it in the dialogue and then you complete it there. What's it like? I had a great time. I'm not really sure. Why don't you come with me? I've never heard of this. So you got to find what sentences, according to that phrase, means the same thing in the listening or in the reading that you have there. Next section. Listen and say which phrases show hesitation. Listen.
Are you doing anything tonight, Susie?
Let me see. I'm not sure yet.
Shall we go to the camel race tomorrow?
Oh, well, I don't know.
How about going fishing next weekend?
Let me think about that.
First, you got to know what is hesitation. If you don't know, investigate it. And after that, you listen to it again and you identify which one has some hesitation as they are talking. Act out similar exchange using prompts. Maybe I'm going to tell you to send me an audio the day of the class doing this act out. Maybe. Not sure, but just listen and make sure that you're ready just in case we do it like that.
Should we go to the cockroach races tomorrow?
Oh, well, I don't know. Do you want to watch the hamburger eating contest tonight, Bob?
Let me see. I'm not sure yet. How about going to the bug eating festival next weekend?
Let me think about that.
Okay, practice. Use the sentences below to act out similar dialogues about the event in poster B. So, the poster that we had at the beginning of this section, you are supposed to know what is there and you are supposed to act out. Get ready, because we're going to have at least one exercise to act out. Maybe this one or the previous one. Listen.
Hey, Richard, are you doing anything next Sunday morning? Let me see. I don't think so. Why? Well, I'm thinking of going to the Chandler Ostrich Festival. To what? What on earth is that? I know, it sounds crazy. It's a famous festival which takes place each year in March. So, what's it all about? Well, people can see, pet, and ride ostriches. They can even buy and eat them. That's unbelievable. I know. I went last year and I really enjoyed myself. There were some great performers before the show, like clowns and marching bands. So, would you like to come with me? I don't know. Oh, come on. It'll be fun. It's only $10 and the food is great. Well, okay then, why not? That's great. I'll call you on Saturday to make the arrangements then. Okay, I'll speak to you then.
Alright, so remember, you gotta be ready to act out similar dialogues. Maybe we're gonna do it directly inside the class, or I might ask you to even invent. You can invent like a dialogue and send it in the WhatsApp group as an audio. Any of the two. But on Wednesday, I'll let you know which one we're gonna pick. Next section. Next section is the E section. It's more a reading. The first thing that you gotta do is check. Oh, as always, you investigate the things that we got here, all the words that you don't understand from that section. Make sure that you deal with your book. Well, let me put it there so you can see it. You can pause it. I'm gonna go up to 10 now. There you go. It's only so you can have access, just in case you don't have the book directly with you. You can pause it and you can get the words. And then from 15 to 20, there you go, the same thing. From 25 to 30. And from 35 to 40. 45 to 50. 55 to 60. And 65. The idea is that you can pause and get the words just in case you don't have directly the book, even though you are supposed to have the book. After you check them, you investigate what they mean, then you complete the exercises. This, yes, I'm going to ask you to take a picture of this, and that picture you're going to send it in the WhatsApp group the day that we're going to have the class. So you could start working with this as of now and getting everything, so like that you can do it a lot faster with no problem. From the reading, complete this section. Match the words in bold with their meanings, the same as the other exercise or similar. So you gotta put what is a drift, what is a struggle, what is trap. According to their meaning, you can investigate in the dictionary too, to make sure that they are there. And yes, we're gonna ask for this evidence. Choose the correct word. So after you investigate what is ground and what is bed, then according to their meaning, you got to put the one that best correspond to this one. Bend or knelt, release, loosened, famous, popular, cause changes, crude, bitten, understood, realized, wave, signaled. So get them, read them, and put them according to their definition, as they should make sense. In the grammar section, here we got grammar, ing to infinitive forms. Put the words in parentheses into the correct form, and this was covered already in previous book, but here is more practice and more speaking. So the ing form or infinitive without to give reasons. Okay, so here you gotta put if it needs to be the infinitive or it needs to be the ing, like swimming. Would you consider swimming with sharks, or would you consider to swim with sharks? According to you, which one should be the answer? And then you gotta have the reason. And yes, according to this one, you should investigate a little more about the grammar, just in case you are not ready, or you can refresh. And the idea of this is not only completing the exercises, is that you can complete the exercise, but at the same time you can give a reason why that is the answer. Hey, I'm going to put ing because, or I'm going to put the infinitive because, and you are supposed to know why you are going to put swimming or why you're going to put to swim. All right, but the reason. Try to complete it, and if not, we deal with it in the classroom, no problem. Listen to this section and we'll continue to the next one.
Have you always wanted to be a shark handler?
Well, I actually got this job by accident. When I was 19, I was an experienced diver working on movie sets. Then, one day I was asked to get in the water with tiger sharks. I thought they were out of their minds, but then they offered me $150 for it. As a teenager in 1979, that was a pile of money.
What was your first experience working with sharks like?
Honestly, I was scared to death. During the first take, the shark escaped. I was secretly relieved, but pretended to look for the lost animal. Amazingly, I found it struggling at the edge of the set, trapped in a net. I grabbed it, and it tried to bite me. Then it relaxed, and I swam it back. After that, I became one of the chief shark handlers. However, I never told anyone that I'd found the shark in a net.
Isn't your job extremely dangerous?
Yes, for some shoots we simulate shark attacks, which involves strapping food to a suit and letting the sharks tear it off. That's dangerous because they can actually rip your wetsuit and flesh. I've been bitten 3 times, once on the hand. It was the worst pain I've ever felt.
Isn't this a bit crazy?
Well, it is, but for fame and fortune, you'll do anything.
Yes, for fame and fortune, we'll do anything. A lot of people are like that. Now, talking about this topic, for you, which one do you think is the most extreme job in the Dominican Republic? Your question. Later, we're going to ask that. I admire Stuart because I find his job, or because, imagine, he got to deal with sharks. Would you take a job like this? Depending on how much they pay, right?
I admire Stuart because he is very brave to get in the water with sharks. Also, he has a dream job where he earns a lot of money while being able to work with celebrities on movie sets. I think his job is interesting because it offers a lot of variety. He gets to meet famous people, and it is exciting to work with dangerous animals like sharks.
The idea is that you can talk about his job and what is your opinion about his job. That is the idea there. All right, on the F section, here we got vocabulary, extreme exports. Hey, do you practice any extreme export? Good question. Do you drive a motorcycle? Or are you dealing with like a boat or water? Or do you drive like any like sport cars? I mean, maybe you are racing. But the idea of this is that you can deal with the extreme sports list. All right, so read the ones that we got there: base jumping, rollerblading, kite surfing, whitewater rafting, canoeing, cliff jumping, all of the ones that we got there. And investigate. I will ask you in the class, for example, I guess, okay, what is hockey as a sport that we got there? What is scuba diving? What is ice skating? What is motocross? What is storm chasing? I like that one too. I will ask some students what is a storm chaser. So make sure that you investigate the vocabulary that is here. So like that, whenever we ask you about them, then you could demonstrate and you could give the evidence that you did your homework, you know? After that, then you are supposed to separate them. Which one will be a water one, which one will be air, or which one is talking about the land, even though now you're going to see it. All right? Listen and check. So listen to what we got here.
Kite surfing, whitewater rafting, canoeing, jet skiing, windsurfing, sailing, scuba diving, base jumping, cliff jumping, paragliding, bungee jumping, ski jumping, rollerblading, archery, free running, parkour, snooker, ice climbing, mountain biking, weightlifting, sandboarding, hockey, snowboarding, ice skating, skateboarding, motocross, indoor climbing, storm chasing.
The idea is that you can listen to them and you can repeat so you can talk about them. All right, which of these sports above have you tried? Especially, we got a lot of sports there that they were talking about. Would you like to try something that you have not tried? You know, maybe something that you find interesting? Which one? Listen to two students comparing pictures A and B. What similarities and differences did they mention? So what is similar and what is different from the two pictures we got there? Listen. And the idea is that I can ask you the same question and you can answer it.
In both pictures, people are taking part in extreme sports. Picture A is of a man flying through the air on a motorbike with a large audience in the background. I would say that he is competing in a motocross competition.
Yes, maybe he is racing to win a cash prize.
That's a good point. What about picture B?
Picture B shows a man kayaking alone. While the man in picture A seems to be taking part in a competition, I think the man in picture B is probably kayaking because he is a fun-loving person who enjoys physical activity.
Another reason could be that he is training for a competition.
You could be right. The water looks very dangerous. However, he is wearing a lot of safety equipment, such as a life jacket, a crash helmet, goggles, and gloves. He is also wearing thick clothing, probably to stay warm.
Yes, his clothing will help to prevent injury if anything goes wrong. On the other hand, even though the man in picture A seems to be in danger, he is only wearing a crash helmet for safety.
Well, actually, he is also wearing a full-body suit that is probably made of a very durable material. Unlike the man in picture B, who needs to stay warm, he probably just needs a lightweight fabric for his sport. I'd say that they are both wearing adequate safety equipment.
Okay, so the idea, and yes, you might have an exercise that you are going to have to talk about what are the similarities of these two pictures and what are the differences of those two pictures. So use the example, use the listening. You can repeat it again, so like that you could be ready, so you can talk about the similarities and these differences about these two pictures. Or I can show you two more different pictures and you are supposed to say the similarity or what is alike in that aspect. It says, now in 1 minute, compare picture C and D and say why you think the people have chosen to take part in these activities. Use the language in the box to help you. So you got here to use this language, but, whereas, while, although, clause, however, on the other hand, neither, nor, both, and. You can investigate about them just in case you don't remember. And the idea is that you can use them so you can talk about these two pictures that we got here. Listen to this section so like that you can do something similar. Whenever we get to this exercise, then I might tell you to send an audio talking about this similarity to the WhatsApp group that we have, so like that we can do that there. But for now, investigate them, practice them, listen to them so you can come with something similar.
In both pictures, groups of people are taking part in sports.
Yes, it looks like the people in picture C are about to do some indoor climbing. I think they are probably doing this sport for fun and to develop physical strength.
Yes, but it could be that they are beginners who are doing the sport as a hobby. Perhaps the woman in red who is pointing up is instructing them, while the others are listening.
Maybe, but for this activity the people only have a climbing wall, some ropes, and a lightweight harness. On the other hand, the people in picture D have a lot of equipment. It looks like they are going scuba diving. What do you think?
Yes, it seems like it. I think they must have extensive training in order to do this, so they are probably experienced divers. I'd say they take part in this sport because they like to explore the ocean floor.
On the other hand, they might be on vacation and looking to see beautiful coral reefs, or perhaps they are interested in marine life.
All right. So as you can listen to this section, they are using the comparing ideas that we got there. So investigate the comparing ideas and you can start working on talking about these two pictures using those ideas with your opinion. And that we're gonna check in the class. Listening, you'll hear an interview with a woman who runs extreme sports weekends. What type of words could be missing in each blank? So here, according to what they say, you are supposed to come up with what type of words are missing. Listen and try to complete.
I'm joined in the studio by Anna Spencer, owner of Pembroke Coasteers. Anna, welcome to the show. Firstly, what exactly is coasteering? I've never heard of it before.
Hi, thanks for inviting me. Well, coasteering is basically exploring the rocky coastline. It includes rock climbing, cliff jumping, cave exploration, and swimming. Anyone can take part from the age of 8 and over. The only restriction is that children under the age of 16 must be accompanied by a parent.
Do you have to be fit to be able to do it?
Well, you don't have to be an athlete, although I do recommend that you have an average level of fitness. The rock climbing we do is fairly easy for everyone, but you have to be able to swim because coasteering involves a lot of jumping into the sea.
Do you need any previous experience to take part in one of your adventure weekends?
No. All you need is to come with a positive attitude and you'll have a great time, whether you want to jump from 2 feet or 25 feet. Our guides encourage you to face new challenges and to reach personal goals.
Coasteering is considered an extreme sport. So how do you guarantee safety?
Client safety is our priority, of course, but there are always risks in the natural world. We can't control weather conditions or wildlife we may come face to face with. Our guides are fully trained in first aid and know what to do in an emergency. But there's rarely any danger as long as clients listen to the guides and follow their instructions.
So, where is the outdoor center located?
We opened our centre in Pembrokeshire in Wales to make the most out of one of Britain's last true wilderness areas. It's Britain's only coastal national park, and it's an amazing place to escape from the crowds. There's just us and nature there. It's perfect.
Now you're persuading me to sign up. Isn't the weather a problem, though?
It can be, but that's why coasteering is unique. It's never the same experience twice. There are over 100 miles of stunning Pembrokeshire coast to choose from, and if the weather's a problem, then we move to more sheltered areas. Getting wet is part of the sport, but you won't get cold because you'll be protected by full-body wetsuits.
I can't imagine that many people have their own wetsuit. What else do you need?
Don't worry about wetsuits. We supply all the necessary equipment to keep you 100% safe. The only things you need to bring are a change of clothes, an old pair of trainers, and a towel because you will definitely get wet.
It all sounds very tiring.
Don't worry. We always take time out for a cup of tea or coffee and a quick sandwich. There are some beautiful picnic areas along the way that we usually stop at. And when everyone is feeling refreshed, it's back in the water.
So how can people book a weekend coasteering trip?
You can go online to our website or call us. The package deal costs between $325 to $375, depending on what month you choose. It includes accommodation, meals, and transfers to the coast.
It sounds amazing. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Don't be hesitant to try coasteering because it's an extreme sport. Its popularity has grown because it's an activity that's open to anybody, no matter what their age or ability. And Pembrokeshire's wild rocky coast makes it the perfect place for the perfect adventure.
Anna, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thanks.
All right, the idea, we'll try to listen again just in case, is that you can put the words that are missing there according to the information that they give you. So you listen again and try to complete this section, and we'll check that in the class too. All right, the last section, or not the last section, well, the G section. I'm gonna go to the last one in a minute. What do you know about justing? What would you like to know? Write down 3 questions about justing. Looking at justing, write 3 questions for these guys that you would like to ask them. All right, read the text and think of the word which best fits each blank. So read it, check the ones that maybe you don't understand, and there you put the ones that belongs in the blank. It is a reading. Match the word or phrases involved with their meanings. Again, you gotta get them here and you gotta put them next to their meaning. Fill in opponent, audience, competition, as spectators. So you gotta put them where they belong. We got 4 empty ones, so get them and complete them. Find the main idea in each paragraph, then write a sentence for each. Compare your answers with a partner. Well, we're not going to do it now with the partner, but have them there so like that when we have this exercise, I can tell you, talk with your partner so you can compare the answers. You got to find the main idea of paragraph number 1, the main idea of 2, of 3, of 4, and 5, according to the same reading that you have seen already. Listen.
Jousting. Extreme sports are nothing new. In the Middle Ages, between the 11th and the 15th centuries, medieval knights risked life and limb in a thrilling sport called jousting. 2 knights on horseback, each carrying a lance, a longer, heavier version of a spear, would ride towards each other at high speed. To win, the knight tried to break his lance on his opponent's shield or knock him off his horse with the lance. Jousting tournaments were often held to celebrate royal marriages and births, or national festivals. Brave knights could be seriously injured or even die for the chance to win large sums of money, and sometimes even a royal marriage. Jousting was seen as practice for war, but when competing, knights replaced their chain mail, small linked metal rings, with heavy armor made of metal plates. They only had small slits in their helmets to see out of, which greatly restricted their vision. At the same time, though, this protected them. The horses they rode were big and strong. The popular jousting tournaments took place in the lists, an open field separated by a fence close to a castle. They attracted not only royalty and nobility, but also commoners who sat alongside the battlefield. In glamorous opening ceremonies, knights would ride into the lists and hit the shield of an opponent they wished to challenge. After prizes were awarded at the end of the tournament, feasting and dancing would close the event. Today, partly due to TV shows and movies, jousting is making a comeback. Surprisingly, little has changed since the Middle Ages. It may be a challenge for these modern-day knights to wear heavy armor and control a horse while trying to knock their opponent to the ground, but for the enthusiastic spectators, it all adds up to a truly exhilarating experience. Now, serious jousters are hoping to win enough fans to turn jousting into the next extreme sport.
Alright, the idea is that you can get the information about jousting, and yes, I will ask you in the class who was jousting and what was the information that they talked about jousting, and because we are sending this video already, you can repeat it to be ready for that questions. It says, find out about another extreme or dangerous sport that was popular in the past. Muay Thai, Fan, kickboxing, sumo, wrestling, the fisherman's joust in Egypt. Find out history and rules equipment clothe the sport today. Well, try to find an sport, an extreme sport that we had in the past that you like. So like that, you can talk to us about that sport in the class. Investigate about one, at least a sport, and when we get to this section, I'm gonna have you guys talk about that sport, okay? Now, yes, we are on the last section. The last section is part of the homework that you gotta upload in the platform, especially because this finishes with a writing. All right, so check what we have here on this writing. It says, mark the statement below, true or false, for writing an opinion essay. Correct the false statement. Check in the writing bank. So check in the writing section. You can investigate even in Google. What are the things that you are supposed to do on a statement? And you can complete it with no problem. Let me see, we got it there. There you go. Opinions essay and opinion essays, and read it. What we got here is when you want to put an opinion in the way that you got to do it. So on the second section, read the rubric. Do you agree or disagree with the statement, and why? So you got to have the answer. Why do you agree or disagree with this? And this one, we're going to do it in the class. You have had a class discussion about the following. Extreme sports are too dangerous. What is your opinion? Yes, no, and why? And should be banned. Should it be banned? What is banned? Just in case. And get its definition. And after that, then you need to start defending your side. Should they be banned? or shouldn't they be banned, and why? Now, your teacher has asked you to write an essay giving your opinion on this. Write your essay. The essay is the homework that we have as a writing on the platform, all right? So for the essay, you check this one that we got here. That's, you're gonna use it as an example. You read it, make sure you investigate the things that maybe you don't understand. And after you complete that section, then these are the instructions, all right, to list points in the first place. To add more points, then you can use all this vocabulary that we have here for your writing, all right? And whatever you have there that you don't understand, investigate it, as we always do. So in the end, what you got to do, and this is going to be your homework, the last one that we got here, this is your homework, not this one. Here you go. These are the instructions for the homework that you got to upload on the platform. You got to write an essay. It says here, write your essay using your answers from exercise 9. Follow the plan. So according to the information that we have here, it's line up the plan that you got to follow in order to write your opinion essay. It says, your English teacher has asked you to write an essay giving your opinion on the following. Violent sports such as boxing should be banned. Write your essay 100 to 120 to 180 words. Now, in this case, you have the option to write a different topic as long as it's an essay about your opinion about something that is extreme. Okay, let's say you don't want to talk about violent sports. You want to talk about extreme sports like car racing. One that we have is the motorcycle racing that is not legally in the Dominican Republic. So you can write an essay giving your opinion about that. If you are against that, if you are with that, and why. All right. Here we don't want to like put on a side, because let's say that you are part of the ones that are doing racing on the motorcycles. All right. And the idea of this section is not to check if you're doing something good or something bad. No. It's your opinion. If your opinion is that you want to continue doing that and you like it, then you got to express that in your essay. You're going to complete an essay giving your opinion, positive or negative, about that extreme sport. In this case, you can find any other extreme thing that is happening in the Dominican Republic and write an essay using the instructions that we got there. All right. Now it says, paragraph 1, state a topic and give your opinion. Paragraph 2 and 3, viewpoints and reasons and examples. Paragraph 4, opposing viewpoints and recent examples. In paragraph 5, a state opinion in other words. I'm going to play this section we got here, but you can always go back. Look, so you can use this one as an example right here. Use this one as an example. So you can write the points and the lineup for your essay. Remember, the instructions are here on the last section right here. And according to this, like you normally do the writing, that is supposed to be uploaded to the ETLA platform. And that is going to be considered to be your homework. All right. So let me play this. And after we play this, that's basically it for this video. So you can have all the information that you need for this Wednesday when we have the class.
Have you ever participated in a violent sport? While some people support them, I strongly believe that they should be banned. Firstly, sports such as boxing encourage violence in society. Since contestants win by causing physical injury to their opponents, fans of the sport mimic their sporting heroes' behavior and believe that violence is acceptable. Moreover, a high percentage of participants get seriously injured while competing in violent sporting events. In particular, head injuries, which could cause permanent brain damage, are common among boxers. Alternatively, some people argue that violent sports should not be banned. They maintain that sports such as boxing are strictly controlled with rules and regulations. For instance, referees are always present during matches to ensure that participants follow the rules and are able to continue. All things considered, I believe that violent sports need to be banned. They can leave the participants permanently and seriously injured, and they make violence in general seem acceptable.
Alright, so that's basically it. Thank you very much for listening to this video, and make sure that you are checking the rest. Always investigate the things that you don't understand so you can complete this section. Remember that we are supposed to complete the module 2, and then next Saturday we start module 3, and you should have a quiz about module 1 and 2, but we don't know exactly when. It could be even the same day, but we'll see. Be ready and get ready just in case. Have a good rest of the day, and thank you very much for being with Mr. Reyes with My Limitless English.